And I think one of the things we talked about in the Marriage 101 class one night was, sometimes when this thing happens, one spouse will say to the other, well, if you forgive me, then that just gives me a clean slate, and you expect the person to go back to the way things used to be overnight, and it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It takes a series of trusting events where you can prove that you are trustworthy. You can prove that you're worthy to be trusted, because when infidelity comes in, man, that's a heartbreaking situation.
Yes, it is.
And the trust then is broken. Yeah, I mean, you have to be honest. The trust is broken. Many times, your spouse, when infidelity is in the picture, your spouse won't even trust you to go around the corner to get gas in your car. And you gotta know that you gotta be able to exercise patience while your spouse rebuilds that trust in the marriage. And sometimes that takes a minute. It's not an overnight, but it is possible. It is possible to regain trust, to forgive, even though it's one of the toughest things to do. Sometimes you got to ask God for His grace, in allowing you to open your heart to someone who has hurt you. But I believe too many marriages are ending, and people not knowing that, no, God gives you another chance. God gives you another chance to get it right, to get it whole. The question is the same question that Jesus asked the man who was sitting by the pool. Do you want to be made whole?
Yes.
And that's what He's asking couples today. Do you want to be made whole? Do you want to get this thing right? Or do you want to continue to live in the muck and mire of sin and not trusting each other and bickering and fighting with each other, and the problem never gets fixed?
Now, one last question, Pastor. I always have been a proactive person. So when it comes to marriages, what are maybe like some warning signs, and letting the couple know, like, look here, we need to get on our knees, we need to continue. Well, we always should pray regardless, but when we say, look, we might need to start seeking some outside help, some counseling, what are some of the warning signs when it comes to a marriage that's getting ready to fall apart?
Well, you got to realize that sin clouds the truth.
Yes.
And that's one of the arrows that the enemy fires against us. Whenever temptation, and let me just stop right there, because that's a good point. To say that you're never going to be tempted is to say that you're not alive. As long as you're living on God's green earth, you will be tempted. And Satan knows exactly how to tempt you. If you don't like chocolate, then Satan is not going to bring world's finest chocolate to you. But if you are a chocolate lover, he's going to make sure that you in a chocolate closet.
And make sure you see it.
That's right. And whenever sin enters the picture, guilt comes in. And when you're guilty, you want to cover over the truth. And see, trust and truth come from the same root word. And so whenever there's untruth that exists, then you can't have trust. And so one of the warning signs is whenever you start catching each other in lies and slip-ups and this kind of thing, there's because there's something that's being covered over.
Right.
And you really need to address some issues. The other thing, whenever couples who were at one time just open to each other as an open book, whenever you begin to close yourself off from your partner, from your spouse, then that's probably a warning sign that something's there that doesn't need to be there.
Okay.
Something that's uncomfortable, something that I'm going to just kind of retreat into my little hole and cave, because whereas I've been open to you, I don't want you to find your way into my dark secret closet. And so I become protective of how I communicate. The cell phone, the email, technology has made it so easy to cover things up.
Yes, all right.
And so when you have a lot of that going on, when communication stops, then when communication stops, intimacy will stop.
Oh.
That leads to intimacy stopping. And I believe couples would need to continue to stay on their knees together, to reach out to one another, touch and agree, and pray on a daily basis for their relationship. And you'll be able to overcome some of those warning signs. Again, your marriage will be tested.
Yeah.
It will be tested. But greater is he that is within me than he that is within the world. If you believe that this is the person that God has put you with, and what God has joined together, let no one put asunder, then you got to exercise your faith in believing that no matter what, we'll be able to conquer this because God has ordained and anointed this relationship. Doesn't mean everybody's going to be perfect. Doesn't mean you're not going to make any mistakes. But it does mean that God has a purpose and a plan for that relationship, and you need to find out what that purpose is.
Man. Pastor, God bless you. I want to thank you so much, man, for taking the time. Well, hey, somebody want to come visit the church, the Fort Bend Church, the location, go ahead and give them an address. Well,
we're located at 1900 Eldridge Road here in Sugar Land, Texas. That's at the corner of West Airport and Eldridge in Sugar Land, Texas.
Oh, man. The phone number there?
Phone number is 281-980-8322.
All right. And service time, the church time on Sundays is?
Well, you can come early at 7:30 a.m. and at 10 a.m. every Sunday.
Amen. Definitely check it out on the website, too, thebend.org. Pastor, again, thank you, okay?
God bless you, my friend.